Go and grab your Bewear merchandise today. There are t-shirts, sweatshirts, phone cases, and more, all with the link down in the description below. You do not want to miss out. What's up, guys? It's Carson back here on Toxic Gaming, and today, guys, we have week 8? Yeah, week 8 of the MPL Major Pokemon League, going up against Nick, aka Reckless Bat, and stuff on the Texas Tyrantrums, as you can see the logo and everything on your screen. And this was one that I had to do, I believe last week was when it was supposed to go up, but I was out of town on, it's like Thursday, and anyway, it was late, schedules conflict and stuff all the time. But we were able to get the battle done and all those things. We'll do a quick run through of his draft and everything. He had Necrozma, Infernape, Azumarill, which was one of his Z users, Crobat, Dhelmise, Bisharp, Meloetta, Gastrodon, Tyrantrums, Silvally Normal, which was also a Z user, and Glycopod, the new cool looking bug dude. As we see on for his team, he brought the Crobat, the Azumarill, the Infernape, Tyrantrum, Gastrodon, and Necrozma. Again, I was kind of excited to see what looked like 4 potential physical mons, because we're actually going to be starting off with good old Airborne, our Tornadus and everything, with Assault Vest and Regenerator, Hurricane, Grass Knot, Knockoff, and Heat Wave, with 100 in HP, not special attack, 100 in HP, 252 in special attack, and then 156 and Hasty Nature in speed. Now, this Tornadus was basically to try to check Necrozma the best we could. If it was a special setup Necrozma, we can knock off whatever item it was, hit it really hard with Hurricane, and then for his his Dhelmise, his Bisharp, and Bisharp specifically, because Bisharp is kind of a threat to one of the main things I built this team around, we put Heat Wave on it, and then Hurricane does decent damage to everything across the board. Plus, I believe with this spread, we are faster than Non-Scarf Infernape, so we scare him with Hurricanes, and then we needed something to hit Gastrodon, or else Gastrodon could just simply just sit there and Toxic Stall us. So I went with Grass Knot. It's going to hit the hardest. It was hitting harder than Hidden Power Grass to most calcs for Gastrodon, and it hit also hard to Azumarill on the other side. So it was the best of both worlds for Tornadus. Next we had Spike Dudley, our good old Ferrothorn, with Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs again, with Leech Seed, Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, and Power Whip, with max HP 252, 20 in attack, 184 in defense, and 52 in special defense with a Sassy Nature, so we're actually losing speed at this point. And really, it was the point of, with Ferrothorn, we didn't need speed, but I also didn't need Gyro Ball. It was my thoughts, because we were hitting the Azumarill for neutral damage with Gyro Ball, and he's not very fast naturally anyway. We were hitting Tyrantrum, but unless it was Scarf Tyrantrum, it's not really going to do that much. And we really weren't hitting anything else super hard with Gyro Ball. Instead, with the Gastrodon there, I wanted Power Whip to hit him as hard with that. And then Leech Seed, Stealth Rock, and Thunder Wave just to cripple the majority of his team. And when I mentioned seeing 4 what looked like could be physical attackers, 5 if you count Necrozma, Iron Barb's Rocky Helmet, that combined will just simply wear down his team, and I really like that with Ferrothorn. Next we have Reuniclus, Viscera, or Reuniclus, with Life Orb, Magic Guard, Calm Mind, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fighting, with 252 in HP, 8 in defense, and 8 in attack. Or it's supposed to be, I don't know why, wait a second, I'm reading Showdown, it's supposed to be 252 in defense and then 4 in attack. I don't know why Showdown decided to be stupid, but it did. But anyway, basically max Fizz Def for Reuniclus with Life Orb and Calm Mind. And this was kind of what I was building this team around, was Reuniclus to be able to come in, set up a Calm Mind, and maybe kill 1 to 2 things. But the thing that shut down my Reuniclus was really his Meloetta and Bisharp. Meloetta to a point. After a few Calm Minds, we would basically be trading back and forth. But his Bisharp could simply shut us down, which is why I had Torn on the team as well. But I felt like Reuniclus could do a really good thing, and with his physical attackers being max physical defensive with Calm Mind, could give us a nice balance of bulk for power with Reuniclus. Next we have China, our Heatran, holding the Gracium Z and Flash Fire, obviously, with Dark Pulse, Magma Storm, Earth Power, and Solar Beam, with 244 in HP, 228 in special attack, and then 36 in speed and Modest Nature, because we're not really outspeeding much on his team. We don't really need the speed for what I want to do. And basically, Heatran here is to Z Solar Beam that goddamn Gastrodon. Magma Storm things as needed, and Earth Power and Dark Pulse all were nice. Flash Fire to basically kind of protect Buzzwole and Kyurem, and to a point, Ferro Thorn from Flare Blitzes from his Infernape. But really, we're here for the Z-Solar Beam because it's gonna KO that fucking not Garchomp. It's gonna KO that Gastrodon, and if he runs anything to try to block us, like Detect, Protect, anything like that, it'll still do a heavy chunk to that Gastrodon. That's what we want Heat Train to do. Basically, hit that Gastrodon as hard as possible on our team, and then be able to get it in range for other things to take care of it later. Next we have Choice Scarf, Buzzwole, our Master Lock, with Superpower, Earthquake, Leech Life, and Toxic, with 76 in HP, 236 in attack, and then 196 in speed. Basically, I believe the 196 and then Choice Scarf allowed us to outspeed Crobats. It's really all we needed was Superpower, Earthquake, and Leech Seed for coverage for his team, and so I threw Toxic on there because if we get a quick Toxic on something, that'd be really nice. We didn't need another offensive move. It would have just been another move to consider clicking when we probably shouldn't click it. It was that kind of situation with Buzzwole, and he's going to hit extremely hard for our team, one of our wall breakers. And the other wall breaker being another Scarfmon with Scarf Kyurem, with Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Hidden Power Grass, and Earth Power, with 36 in HP, 252 in special attack, and then 220 in Timid. And I believe this was to outspeed, let me see here and make sure. I believe this outspeeds, where'd it go? Outspeed, it was basically try to creep Silvally normal if you wouldn't put that much speed into it, and definitely outspeed Meloetta, that max speed Meloetta. That's what we were really going for. Just to come in, hit something hard with a Draco. Hidden Power Grass was for Azumarill if he switches that in, and then Earth Power and Ice Beam for coverage. We didn't need Steel coverage, as I kind of explained earlier with Feral Thorn, so having the Hidden Power Grass was hit the Gastrodon as well. Gastrodon kind of was the thing I was the most worried about, just sitting in front of our team and just stalling us out. But we're going to get around in here to the battle so you can see exactly what happened. Okay guys, we see that Nick is challenging us for this battle and everything. Basically, as you saw, he's going to lead off with his Crobat. We're going to lead off with Torn. It was kind of, I figured he would go Infernape as a counter lead to lead Ferro or lead, Heatran. So I led with Torn to counter that, and he Toxic me first turn. I'm okay with it because I can get the Regenerator to get it back. Not Life Orb, so not taking extra damage on top of it. So I'm okay with that. I'm just going to knock off, get this thing's item off of it as early as possible and get rid of Black Sludge, seeing that he might be a little bit more of a bulky Crobat set. And bulky Crobat and special Crobat are definitely things, and I didn't really know what he was at this point, so he roosted again. I expected him to U-turn into like Tyrantrum or into the Necrozma or into Gastrodon, and so I knocked off a second time. It's not going to do obviously nearly as much because he doesn't have his item, but I was expecting more of a switch out rather than him just sitting here against me and taking a Hurricane. But we see now he's actually going to go for the Air Slash, so to me that tells me he either has Air Slash and Sludge Bomb coverage, stab coverage, or he's Air Slash Heat Wave for Feral Thorn. So I'm just going to quicked a Hurricane here in case he stayed in again. Get a confusion. I mean, it is what it is. So far we've hit the majority of our Hurricanes, so shout out to Shroom River because he would not like that. But we're hitting that with Hurricane pretty good. He's going to switch out now into his Tyrantrum, and now I kind of guessed he would switch, so I wanted to pull my own double out into a Reuniclus, mainly because I could scare that that Crobat. I could take the Air Slash and everything be fine. I didn't want to take a head smash this early, so I go out into Feral Thorn just to be able to take anything and get the Rocky Helmet Iron Barbs damage. He does click his head smash, which is a Tyrantrum. It's gonna smash your fucking head in. But as we see, Feral Thorn easily takes that. We take those, and we see that the Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs damage brings him down literally 25%, and that's really good for us. He goes for Fire Fang. Was not ready for the Fire Fang, and I'm so surprised we actually lived it to the point where we did, and we see that he's taken another round, basically another 25%, putting him pretty good under 50, and I wanted to T-Wave this thing in case he was either Scarfed or the D-Dance said that could really threaten me later on. Paralyzing him was really nice on this, as is most games. He's going to switch out now, and going into his Necrozma. And what I decided to do here is get a free turn of Rocks Up. If I lived a move, I didn't get Rocks Up. Or if I lived a move, I got Rocks Up. If I didn't, he's now under 25% with that Tyrantrum. I was fine doing that. And he actually goes for his own Rocks this turn. I expected him to kill me, so I was quick to Leech Seed. knowing that if I lived, I could get get some health back and wear down this Necrozma. Because Necrozma's one bulky son of a bitch, and you need to wear him down as quickly as possible. And so I'm sitting in here now, like, really, he's going to hit me and either kill me, or he's going to hit me and not have a chance to kill me. So I'm thinking now I'm just going to T-Wave. Like, this thing paralyzed and worn down with Leech Seed would be really nice. He goes for his Dark Pulse, and we see that it does about half of where my HP was. Easily taking it, and he's Life Orb, so he is actually doing some extra damage, wanting to. And we get the T-Wave paralyzing this thing, which is huge, and we get a second round of Leech Seed damage on this. So really, we've not even physically touched this Necrozma, and it's already below 75%, which is really, really nice for our team. So Ferrothorn's putting in the best of work right now. He's forced to switch out into his Crobat. Basically what he's doing, because the rocks are up, he's trying to sack Crobat off and get a free switch. I guess that was what it was. I didn't think he'd expected to live it after the rocks. I decided to actually pull the double on this turn into Heatran, and by him sacking off his Crobat, he actually now gets his initiative to counter my Switch Ed, which he does right here with his Infernape, scaring the hell out of me with a close combat potential and anything like that. I decided to actually switch back out into Ferrothorn, and I figure either sack Ferrothorn to close combat and make him really hurt himself with the Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmets, and stuff, or I died to locked into Flare Blitz. He actually goes for a U-turn, and we're gonna live it because, you know, we're Ferrothorn and we take those. But we do get the basically 25% with Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet. We get that Rocky Helmet damage. So already Ferrothorn is wearing down his team as he goes back into his Necrozma. And here I wasn't too certain if we were gonna live an attack or not. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay in. I kind of didn't need Ferrothorn at this point. I could get a free switch into Heatran like I wanted, because even at this point, even at this low of HP, Blood Swole wasn't killing Necrozma. So I go into Heatran, and I know I'm quicking Magma Storm here. I'm trapping this Necrozma. I've seen Heatran versus Necrozma once already in the PPL. Shout out to Shroom, be just disappointed again by me hitting this Necrozma with Magma Storm and taking it out. That happened to him already once in the PPL by Liam. Go watch that battle. Go see those things. But we get a replay of that stuff, and now he goes into his Gastrodon, and this was kind of the moment that I had Z Solar Beam for. This was exactly, if he was Sash, fine. If he's Rindo, he's dead. Anything like that, and he protects. So I believe that Protect basically nullifies like 75% of the damage from, or like 25%, I think, of Z moves. I can't remember exactly, but like we had in the PPL, we anticipated the Bloom Doom and switched into Charizard. This time, he anticipated the Bloom Doom and protected. It's going to do significantly more damage than than in the PPL, or the Bloom Doom to us did. But we're going to see that times 4 with the Protect, Z Solar Beam will not kill a fucking Gastrodon, and it sucks because like that was our main counter to Gastrodon, and kudos on him for putting Protect on there for that. If we would have clicked Magma Storm or something and then Z Solar Beam, that would have been great. But now I'm going to switch out, and I knew I was basically giving him a free recover anyway by going for any move, even if I click Solar Beam. So I went into Torn right here because we have the Grass Knot. He's going to get his recover. Either way, we were getting a free recover. The only thing that would have been nice would be to Magma Storm and keep him in and get another switch in and do that passive damage, but it wouldn't have made up the difference. We actually, with Torn in here, we're below half and everything with the Toxic, and I'm kind of worried about what he can do to me, but I knew I have to knock off first to get that Leftovers off him. Grass Knot and Leftovers plus Recover was not going to help out, so I knew I had to get those Leftovers off of him first, and he Scalds, not doing the most damage in the world, and we're going to actually be dropped pretty low to where Poison probably will kill us this turn, but I know I need damage on this thing. Like, it's to the point of, yes, he can recover, but he's now forced to recover, is the point of it. So if he wouldn't have recovered here and tried to just kill me, he would have been forced to try to do it the next turn or switch out. Since he did recover here, we might die to Poison. I believe we died to Poison. Let me see. Yes, we do. Because of that, he's still low enough that he doesn't have his Leftovers recovery that I can go into Reuniclus here and quick Calm Mind, take whatever he wants to do to me. And he actually decides to switch out here, which I was kind of surprised, as he goes back into his Tyrantrum. And I'm setting up Calm Mind anyway in front of that Gastrodon. That's what we were able to set up in front of Gastrodon anyway. We were planning to. And at this point, we're at +1. We're killing this Tyrantrum with Psychic, we could take one move that he can do to us. It, I believe included Crunch if he actually outsped us. But we actually do outspeed thanks to that paralysis from Ferrothorn earlier and knock out the Tyrantrum. Really nice play by Ferrothorn earlier to be able to paralyze him and we can pick up the kill. Now he goes into his Azumarill, and I'm realizing at +1 I can't really one-shot him. And he's actually just going to knock off. I kind of expected maybe Belly Drum Aqua Jet, but that knockoff does a fuck ton. And without our Life Orb, we actually won't be able to pick up the KO with Psychic. With Life Orb, I believe we had like a chance to do it, but with this, it was guaranteed that we wouldn't. He's just going to knock off again. I don't want anything else knocked off on my team, not my 2 Scarfers or anything else. I don't want to bring in Heatran on him. And so now we go into Master Lock, our Buzzwole, and this was the point where he had this Gastrodon and Infernape left, and so I really kind of had to click Earthquake, because Earthquake would kill this Azumarill. I expected, honestly, an Aqua Jet there to just get some chip damage, but we kill this Azumarill, and we get our Beast Boost, and then if he goes into Infernape, he might be Scarfed, and he's then locked into either a Fire move to kill us, and then we can go into Heatran and counter that, or he decides to close combat and not kill us, and we kill him. And he goes into the Infernape now, and he told me later he's actually not Scarfed. He was bluffing that Scarfed earlier, and we actually will pick up the kill here with Earthquake. And because we're at +1, I mean, we're at +1 Buzzwole, and it's an Infernape. We're killing this goddamn thing. And now that we're at +2, and because of how the damage and everything worked for Gastrodon, his last Mon, we should be able to kill with this Earthquake. And even if we didn't, we still have Scarf Kyurem in the back that can Hidden Power Grass this thing to death to be able to kill it. So we go for our Earthquake here with Master Lock, and at +2, and we're Buzzwole and all those things, we take out the Gastrodon with Earthquake. Buzzwole comes in and cleans up with 3 kills. It was a good game on his part. It was some things that were tricky. Ferrothorn basically ruled the beginning of this game. Torn was basically forcing Gastrodon Gastrodon to recover and got rid of the leftovers. And good play on his part for protecting on the Z Solar Beam. Reuniclus got a kill. I mean, it did one thing that it needed to do, just pick off one mon so that Buzzwole can clean up. Sadly, Kyurem didn't even touch the field. So, is what it is. Good game to Nick and everything. This is Week 8, and Week 9 should be coming soon as possible. But this is the MPL and everything, you know, like that. We're going to keep going with these. I believe we have another 2 or 3 weeks left and until playoffs. So, hopefully, at 4-4 now, we can get into playoffs. But anyway, thank you guys for coming out. Check out Nick and all his links down below as well. Before I forget to mention that, check out all of his stuff down below to his side of the battle, see what he thinks. But thank you guys for coming out. I'm Carson, this is Toxic Gaming, and as always, you guys stay toxic. We'll see you guys.